What is up guys, my name is MipZ and welcome back for yet another League of Legends video. Today we're playing Tryndamere, and Tryndamere is honestly a super fun top laner, and he's something that, or someone that I honestly would recommend for somebody that really just wants to hard carry. He's a great champion for almost anybody. Like, this champion is someone that, like, you can hard carry so bad on him. He's not someone you want to pick in like team fight compositions because he's not a great team fighter, but what he is an absolutely mindlessly insane split pusher. This guy pushes like no other. So if you're a beginner, this champion is actually someone that I would suggest for you. He's great if you're like, I want to play top lane, then I would actually recommend this for a friend starting out. Like, if you're brand new to League and you're like, I really want to get into the top lane, this guy is great. First of all, he allows you to stay basically in your lane and focus on one thing and not go too much into team fights, which can feel a little too much in the beginning. And he also just has very simple mechanics, but they're very good, and a lot of people actually don't know. Like, they think they know what Tryndamere does. I actually took the wrong spell. I need to take Q here. My bad. That was a misclick. But the thing is that a lot of people think they know what his spells does because they're so simple, but they actually don't, because the passive effects can be used in various ways, and there are like actually a lot of depth to this champion, which a lot of people don't really realize, which is weird. Like, it is honestly so weird how few people know how to exploit this guy to honestly be a complete and absolute beast. And I'll get into all those things. But just as an example, like, a lot of people don't know that it's a good idea to be low HP when pushing objectives on Tryndamere, or that you need to maintain your rage high and maybe not use your Q even though that you have full rage or something, or that you've lost a bit of HP. Then you might be better off just staying with whatever rage you have at this point. And I'll get into all those stuff and talk about how to see people in or know if somebody's in a bush without having it warded. There are so many things you can do with Tryndamere if you know how his things work. Oh, whoop, I actually did not notice that. Need to be a little careful. Okay, it's fair enough. I just from talking, look on the camera, I actually didn't notice at least coming up here. Well, he used a little bit of cooldowns, that's fine, and we didn't really lose anything, so. Okay, so yeah, this champion is someone I would recommend for anyone. Also, if you're a mediocre intermediate player, and this is a great champion. He works on higher elos as well, especially in solo queue. He's insanely good. If you're boosting a teammate or a friend, then this champ is a great champ to do it with, because you can hard carry the games. So if you're like plat and want to boost one of your friends to gold or whatever, then this is a great champion to do it on, because you won't have to rely too much on your teammates, which is really, really nice. So let's talk a little bit about his spells. So first of all, he has his passive, and his passive is called Battle Fury. His passive is called Battle Fury, and what this thing does is that it gives him rage. He gets rage in 3 ways. First of all, he gets it from... Needs to be a little careful here. First of all, he gets it from striking an enemy. So every time he strikes an enemy, he gets... Whoop, I need to be careful. I think this is too risky, dude. Every time he strikes an enemy, then he gets 5 rage. Every time he crits an enemy, he gets 10 rage. And every time he kills an enemy... Please go away. Please... Oh my god. I'm fine up here. I just need to talk. Please, please, let me talk. Alright, I'm gonna have to... Can I... Oh, nope. Nope, nope, no, 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 no. Just run, 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 run! Okay, so... Okay, let's just recap that really... Oh god, really? I wouldn't be able to take him, yeah. Whatever, dude. every time Tryndamere strikes an enemy, he gets 5 rage. Every time he crits, he gets 10 rage. And every time he kills one, he gets 10 rage. So he gets rage in various ways, which is really cool. And you might ask, what do I need the rage for? Isn't it just for healing or something like that? But it's actually not, because another thing this Battle Fury does is that for every 1 Fury you have, you get 0.3 to 0.5% crit. And this means that if you have 100 Fury, then once you're gonna have somewhere between 30 and 50% crit chance while having this. Means this absolutely means that you're gonna be a beast. Like, you're gonna do an insane amount of damage, and that's absolutely insane. So be aware of that having Fury is a good thing, and sometimes you actually want to not use your heal for this reason. There are more reasons for it. I'll explain that in a second, but there is actually a couple of reasons why you want to hold on to it, and it's not that bad being low HP. It's actually good to be low HP on Tryndamere for a lot of reasons. We'll get much more into that part. So Battle Fury, very simple, gives rage, and for every rage you have, you get crit, and so if you're 100% crit or 100% Fury, you get 50% crit chance, and that's insane. Next up, we have his Q, and his Q is probably a spell that a lot of people have noticed, and I think it's a spell that a lot of people use very poorly, because it's something that they just pop basically whenever it's ready, whenever they've lost a little bit of HP, and that's very, very wrong. Like, you should not be doing that on Tryndamere, because Tryndamere really actually he's strongest when he's low HP. So you want to basically get your Fury up and be, I'm not saying you should be 5% HP, that's not what I'm trying to say. Of course, do this with care, but you need to think about, do I need this HP? That's a really big part of it, because the thing is, your Q, every time you click it, it gives you health back. And it gives health back based on how much Fury you have. So the more Fury you have, the more it heals. But whenever you use your heal, then it consumes your rage, which is not ideal, because that means you lose your crit. And another thing is that your Bloodlust gives you AD based on your missing health, on missing percentage of HP. In other words, this means that, let's see, I think we can take this fight, to be honest. Alright, that's pretty close. It's fine. Now we'll back off, we'll TP back. He already used his TP, he bought a lot of stuff. And Thormail is actually not that bad for us right now, because we're not really... That's the thing, we don't want a lot of lifesteal or anything, we don't need that. Let's get this, get a control ward, and an extra potion for good measure. Actually, I'm gonna get 2, just so we have it. Let's ward up. Okay, that one's still warded, so let's save our control ward for a little bit. Okay, so your Bloodlust gives... Actually, it gives up to, I think it's around 25 AD per 1% missing HP. This means that once you're low on HP, you deal a ton more damage. You're gonna deal honestly significant amount of more damage, and you're also gonna have more crit because you have more rage if you don't use it for healing. So having full rage and being low HP is actually really, really good, and we can take these traits. I don't mind it too much. We need to be a little careful, just that we don't die. But as long as we're just taking these small fights, then that's fine. We're actually coming out slowly on top. Wow, can't believe I'm missing this farm. I want to be careful for that stun though, because that is a little bit annoying. Get our rage back up, and once we have 100% rage, then we can start fighting, and we can probably kill this guy once we have our ult again. Then I'm pretty sure that we are stronger than he is. So we just need to be a little careful. He just used his things there. Gonna pop my potion, just so I don't need to use my rage to get full HP. Gonna get full rage, and then we're gonna look for a kill. But yeah, Bloodlust is a really nice thing, just because it gives you the ability to heal, which you do want to use sometimes, and there's a pretty neat trick with it to optimize your damage still. So let's use this, and we'll actually just go all in here. We should be able to... Wow. We should be able to get him down here. There we go. He basically just gave up. He knew he was dead. And now we're gonna start to snowball, because we're gonna get really, really strong. We didn't even have to use our ult there. But the thing with Tryndamere, the thing you can do is that in order to maximize your damage, if you do have to heal, then do it in a mid attack. So basically, once you attack here, then do it as your animation already started. So imagine that you have 100% rage, and as you swing the sword before it hits, then you click your Q. Because the thing is that it already accounted that attack as having that crit chance and that bonus AD. So if you learn this timing, then you'll actually be able to, even if you have to use your heal, you'll be able to optimize your damage, which is really, really cool. But a lot of times you don't want to heal up just to deal the most damage. Next up, we have his Mocking Shout. And Mocking Shout is a really, really cool spell. And again, something that's very underrated. And a lot of people actually don't note the second aspect of it. Everybody probably knows that that he can slow. When he pops this one, if an enemy has their back turned to you, then Tryndamere slows their movement speed, which is really, really good. Don't get me wrong, it is, but it is not, in my opinion, the most important aspect of Tryndamere, because or of that spell, because honestly, Tryndamere already has the ability to catch up to people with his E, so he doesn't really need the W for that, but it's just really nice. I'm not saying that it's bad for it, that's not what I'm saying at all. Just saying that, like, this spell would be great even without the slowing feature, because what this spell also does is that it reduces your enemies, anybody in range of this one, it reduces their physical damage. And this means that you are actually going to deal a lot more damage to, or he's going to deal a lot less damage to you, which is really, really, really good. So that's something you gotta be aware of, that popping this early in the fight, if you can see your enemy, like Mordekaiser pops his ult on me, you know, something that just ensures that you're like, okay, this guy is just gonna go all out on me, pop this one as early as possible. It will give you a damage advantage, because he's gonna have his physical damage lowered while you remain the same. So right here, I know this guy's probably gonna go all in, he's probably gonna be popping his ult. Okay, I popped mine just as a safety precaution. But that was just a free kill. But we popped it as early as possible just to ensure that he did less damage. And that's something you gotta be aware of. So right here, I'm pretty low HP, but I don't want to heal up. Right now, I feel pretty safe pushing, and I do more damage when I'm low HP. So pushing objectives on Tryndamere, if you know you're safe, then don't heal up, don't use your Q, because you are going to do more damage with and without. Sometimes what I do, if I know I can see everybody else on the map, then I actually just go down to the turret before my minions get there. I take off a couple of hits so I get like to somewhere around 20% HP, and then I run back, wait for my minions, and I'm pretty low HP by that time, and then we can push the turret, and I'm gonna have the extra AD for missing HP, which means that I can take down these turrets a lot quicker. Let's see, we can finish Essence Reaver, and next up we're gonna get ourselves a Trinity Force. We actually need this for Trinity Force, that's fine. Alright, let's get that one. Oh, I actually need the far side. Excuse me. I forgot. No! Okay, that was hard. Okay, so yeah, Mocking Shout is also really good. That was the one we talked about before all this. I'm sorry that I'm kind of jumping between the spells, but I'm trying to show you some aspects of it. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot about Mocking Shout that a lot of people don't know and don't realize is that whenever you're not in range of anybody, like it can't hit anybody, then it's basically grayed out. It will show, I can click it, but nothing happens. It will only be available when somebody is close. But the cool thing is that people don't have to be, you don't have to have vision on people in order to cast it. And this is actually a very, very cool thing. You don't have to, and for anybody that's wondered, I just didn't take my ult. There's a reason for that. We'll get to that. Why I didn't rank up my ult. Anyway, let's take this fight. Alright, he's backing out. Heal up a little bit and get our rage back up. But you can actually use your W to see if somebody is in like trying to gank you. Imagine I'm running down here. If somebody was in this bush, then this one would actually show me that my spell would be available, and I would be able to click it. And this is an absolutely insane feature of the W, is that you can actually, it works against invisible champs to my knowledge as well. So if an Evelyn is close or within this proximity, then it shows up. So you can use this on any target even if they're not visible, and that's a very cool thing with Tryndamere, and that's why there's a lot of depth to this champion. Even though his spells are fairly simple, then you can see if somebody's close by looking at that spell. So it's something you want to be aware of. You can see as soon as this guy's in my range, it shows up, even if he's not yeah, I'm just gonna dodge that for safety. Trying to swap blade. I guess we can. Alright. I guess we can. Okay, so our E is pretty simple. All our E does is that it allows us to basically... Oops, let's see, let's get that one and that one. Oh, no. I shouldn't have done this. Okay, nice. At least they killed it. They actually should have let me TP and then finish the turret. I would have been dead. That was a poor choice. Anyway, as I was saying, our E called a spinning slash. Sorry, not sweeping slash. Spinning slash. Basically just allows us to travel a short distance, dealing damage to anyone close to us. And a nice thing about this one, and this is something you want to be aware of when you're fleeing from people or trying to catch up to them, is that every time you crit a target, then your E gets 1 second of its cooldown reset. And if you crit on a champion, it resets 2 seconds. And this is a very good feature, and something that you need to be aware of when running after somebody. If you're running after them and minions are here and you can't really catch up to them, then it might be worth for you if you're 100% rage, then you know your crit chance is very significant. Then you can just strike an enemy as you run past it and reset 1 second of your cooldown, allowing you to get your cooldown back faster. And that way you can and that way you can catch up to your enemy, or you can use it if you're running away. Also a nice thing, and if you can, sometimes it might be worth for you to stop up, be like, okay, I know I can't win this fight against this guy, but what I can do is that I can hit him twice with my sword, and then I can reset my cooldown on my E, and then I can get away over this wall. So it's something you got to be aware of, that there are various ways of using this one, and the resetting of cooldown is really good. Lastly, we have our ult, and our ult is called Undying Rage, and this is probably Tryndamere's most iconic spell, is the fact that he becomes immortal for a duration. And the way the immortal works is that the higher the rank of this spell is, the higher minimum HP Tryndamere can't go below. And this is a pretty significant thing, because with Tryndamere, as I talked about earlier, you want to be low HP. So if you rank up your R and you use this one, this means that you might not be on 1% HP, or people won't be able to hit you down to 1% HP. And you actually want to be as low as possible to have the highest amount of damage. And the other stats, like ranking up Tryndamere's R, is in most cases not worth it. You just want to get the first rank, because all it does is gives you a little bit of cooldown reduction, but seeing as our build already focuses on getting cooldown reduction, then it's not really worth it. Like, it's so insignificant. And the rage portion is definitely not worth it for us. We need to be careful here. They're coming. The rage portion of it is definitely not worth it, because we should just play around, like, or the HP version, not the rage. It gives a little bit of extra rage as well every time you use it. It's a big, or a little portion of your ult. When you pop it, it gives some rage as well. And that's of course very cool, but it doesn't really matter enough. It's better for you to get your other spells leveled up than it is to level up your R over the first level. You just need the first rank. That's what you need. Alright, let's see if we can push this. And right now we're just looking at the map, seeing if we're alone, if we can push. I see On is coming down here. I think that's how we pronounce it. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. He's right here. I'm gonna see if I can just damage this. As I get lower HP as he's hitting me, I'm actually killing this faster. But now the Lucian's here, I'm gonna back off. I'm a little unsure what the rest of the team is, and I'm just gonna wait. Okay, maybe I'll be able to hit this or catch this guy. I can see right here if he's on the other side. He is. He's over here. And that's what you can see a good use of my W. I couldn't see him, but I knew that if this pops up, it's because he's within my proximity, and the only proximity that's not in my vision is on the other side, that one. So I could just pop over there, land it right on top of her, and finish her off. Very, very simple. But yeah. You always want to hold on to it till you're very, very low. And yeah, as I said, what it does, makes you immortal, gives you some rage, and depending on the level, then the higher level it is, the more minimum HP you can go to. So maybe, as an example, if it's rank 1, maybe you can minimum have 70 HP. If it's max level, then minimum you can have 110 HP, which means you're gonna have more health. But this is not ideal because we want to have maximum damage. And the other spells are so much more worth for us. We much rather level up our Q, E, and W because they just help us duel, they help us push, they just overall help. So that's what you want to stay aware of. And right now, like, this is the thing with Tryndamere. I'm not even playing around kills, I'm just playing around pushing. And my team has also, fortunately, been doing pretty decently. But what you want to do when split pushing is, you don't just want to mindlessly split push. You want to look at the map, look where everybody is, and every time you're like, okay, I know that they're now going for the objective, they're going for, let's say, Baron, then you want to push. You want to push every time they're occupied with something else. You want to be the pain in the ass that every time that they're doing something else, then you push. That's it. Like right now, you can see right now they have to go down and to me, and every time they forget it, they lose an objective. And that's what you want to do with Tryndamere. And you always kind of want to play the opposite side of the map. So if right now that my team is running around with me here is not necessarily ideal, since we're doing pretty fine, I guess it's okay. But when my team is here, then I want to push top lane. Like I always want to be the opposite. Oh, we need to be a little careful here. Okay, we will be able to kill this guy. I can slow this, he runs away, and we'll get this in hit. But you always want to be opposite side of the objectives that your enemy want to go for. So if your enemy is going for... Yeah, we'll actually be able to just push here. They're all dead. Right here, I can let myself get pretty low. This is waiting, and we're gonna go out here. Now I'm gonna do a lot more damage and be able to push this a lot faster. But with Tryndamere, you always want to be pushing the other, like every other objective, then, or not other, but you want to make sure that you are on objectives that the enemy are not focused on. So if they're focused on Drake, then where you want to be is in top lane, because you want to be as far away from what they're focusing on. Make it as difficult as possible for them to do anything about you. And being low to HP on Tryndamere is a great thing because it maximizes your damage. Like, okay, Rage gives you a crit, low HP gives you more AD. The combination of these two are absolutely deadly. So when pushing objective, if you're safe, then take some damage from something, or don't use your heal to heal yourself up, because you're gonna be pushing that objective faster by being low HP. And the same counts with fights. When you're fighting someone, then instead of just being like, okay, I'm 70% HP and I can use my Bloodlust to heal myself up to 100%, then think about it like pretty often, then just holding on to that rage and taking the fight with 70% HP is gonna mean that you're gonna be able to win that fight easier than if you had 100% and 0 rage. Because that way you're gonna be lower HP, means you have more AD, and you're gonna have full rage, which means you're gonna have up to a 50% extra crit chance, which is absolutely freaking insane. So really be aware of this, like split push all you can, and just always be on the opposite side of the map. Every time that you can't account for the enemy, then fall back, take some of the jungle, use your time productively to do something else that helps you gain momentum, that gets you some gold. So if you can see that everybody is missing and you don't know where the enemy is, go into your jungle, take a couple of farm or take some of their farm. Make sure you get Farsight's ward such that you can put it in their jungle and have vision for whenever people are rotating up to you. And then every time they go away, they just cleared the wave and they're like, okay, I can go down and help my team now. Then you just go up there again. Keep being that pain in the ass that's always pushing, and sooner or later, they'll just one time forget that you're there or be like, okay, I'm just gonna help my team out. And the second they do that, they're gonna lose objectives. You're gonna be starting to push through. And with this champion, you'll definitely be able to get high kill games as well. This was not necessarily one of them where we didn't really get that many kills, but what we did was just we kept applying pressure, so that's pretty good. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope this kind of taught you a thing or two about playing Tryndamere. He's a really fun champion and really good one. So yeah, if you enjoyed this one, make sure to smash that like button, and yeah, that'll really help me get this video out to as many people as possible. And if you're not already, then make sure to subscribe down below. It really shows me your support, and yeah, just overall shows me they want to see more of this content. But that is going to be it for today and for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. As always, stay awesome, have fun, and take it easy, guys.